G'day and welcome to the 38th episode of the Destiny Down Under podcast. This week we're joined by absolute legend Rick Kakis. We talk about how to survive the post-beta blues. We go over Cold Heart, survival mode, flashpoints, all the good stuff. Enjoy. Cheers. What is up, guys? Lord Powerslave here, and today is episode 38 of the Destiny Down Under podcast. How are you, dudes?
Doing well.
Stealing Rick's intros.
Yeah, that's copyright there.
Hey,
gone.
we don't have Lord here.
Lawsuits.
It's all made up. We have monopoly money and not real laws.
For those listening, the voice you're hearing is Rickakis. Welcome, dude.
I'm glad to be here. If I stumble over my words, it's because it's 4 a.m. here. Just so everyone knows. If I say something weird, I shouldn't. That's why.
but you heard it first here at the DDG podcast.
God.
My God. In a situation where you're likely to slip up and then use it to our own advantage. Not at all.
Look, I'm gonna say kababies instead of cabals or something. I'm just warning you guys. It's because I'm tired. It's not because I'm an idiot.
I mean, you could be an idiot.
God.
Fit in.
Well, okay. It's like half and half.
Honesty. Appreciate it. So, dudes,
It's good.
I think we're all feeling a bit low this week. We're on a different day. It's on a Thursday night instead of a Saturday for us, which is cool because we get to, talk to different people. We've got Rick on, but I think everyone's in the doldrums a little bit because the beta finished, and we're just wondering how we go on with our lives, dudes. Have you got any advice? Have you found how to just get on with it yet?
Did you say beta?
Beta? What the? Are we doing this again? You say beta, I say beta. You say tomato, I say tomato.
Look, I was
beta, but
I wasn't looking forward to. I have no intention to get back into Destiny 1, but I was gonna do. I did a stream this morning, and I was like, you know what, I should do Destiny stream, because that's the time slot that I always stream Destiny, and I did, and I still had fun, man. I always find. I wouldn't play Destiny off stream, but streaming, adding the extra people and having a chat, Destiny still provides a format for interacting with people so well. And although I had sort of no motivation to jump back in, I had fun on stream, but I'm probably not going to play it off stream until D2.
I think I'm the same. I mean, I don't play that much off stream anyway these days, but for me, I haven't played it yet, and I'm really it sucked my motivation just completely out of me. Any of those things that I was chasing for the moments of triumph, that ship has long sailed. I can't be asked at all. Just you know what? I missed that ship. Who gives a shit? It's done. Destiny 2's coming.
You got 3
it's
days.
Over.
You got 3 days for it to get the T-shirt.
Nah, it could be 3 years.
Or
man.
4. It's the August 1st is the last day you can T-shirt that up.
Yeah, well.
The thing is with Log, Rick, is that he is lazy and hasn't done anything of the book.
I've done quite a bit. I've done most of it just incidentally, just through stuffing around. But I'd have to throw a whole night at just going back and getting all the shit that I haven't done, and I'd rather drink beer and play Crucible or something than do that. I did it with the last one. I did all the last minute challenge of the Court of Oryx and all that sort of stuff, and it was just not fun.
Yeah. Oh well. It kind of sucks that the beta ended and everyone's moving back to Destiny. I haven't started up Destiny personally. I was going to do a raid last night. I'm like, fuck it, my heart, I can't do it. And it was very solemn moment where I go, this is the game that I've enjoyed for nearly 3 years, and now I don't really want to play it because I've had a taste of the new and improved.
You've seen the grass greener.
The grass is greener. Ladies and gentlemen, the grass is greener.
But hey, you know what? At least now we know for Destiny 2, the only thing that'll come along and suck away our enthusiasm for Destiny 2 will probably be Destiny 3 somewhere down the line. So we might as well just commit.
More or less.
So
yeah, no, it's been a bit of a solemn week, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's a bit of a downer, bit of a bummer.
You guys are such Debbie Downers. Listen, I played this way back in the world premiere in May 18th. I played Destiny 2, and I had to go like months with Destiny 1, like not hating it, but not being thrilled about it. And then finally the beta, and now it's like 2.0 for me, the Reckoning. It's back again. So, dude, I've been feeling what you guys are feeling for the past month or so. It's been bad.
Yeah, but you've had time to learn how to adapt with it. It's still a fresh wound.
Man. Crippling depression.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, dude. All right. So since the last episode of the podcast, the beta's closed, but we also had our little foray into the farm, dudes. So, I didn't. I was asleep because I had to get up and go to work the next morning because it was at 3 a.m. Monday morning Australian time. Thanks, Bungie. But you all did, so I'm interested to hear your thoughts and impressions, and tell me all about it.
Log, can we do one really important thing before we move on?
Yes.
Let's grill Rick, man. We don't know anything about Rick.
I know heaps. I've been watching. Oh, all right. Well,
you might know.
Oh my god. Ladies and gentlemen, our special guest today is Rick Kakis HT. Rick, could you tell us about what you do, where you are, social media-wise, where you do create your content? Let us know who you are.
Yeah, man. I make Minecraft videos, and my No, it's Rick Kakis. Kakis HD on YouTube, at Rick Kakis on Twitter, Kakis HD on Twitch. Yeah. And I don't know, I guess daily Destiny videos. I mean, I've been doing it for a while, but I never say daily Destiny videos. So when I miss it and people are like, "Where's the video?" I can be like, "I never said it was daily." But yeah, just been working hard with the beta. The beta's been pretty big, I think. Good for everyone to experience it. But yeah, that's me. Kakis HD on YouTube. That's where you find me. That's what I mostly do. YouTube more than Twitch. Some people are the opposite. I know for sure.
When did you start your YouTube channel?
Dude, I started... I think one of the first videos I uploaded was like Modern Warfare 3. So, a long time ago.
Whoa.
So, yeah. I was Modern
Warfare... What are we talking about then? What is that? What year are we talking?
I did Call of Duty videos. Like, I did I found modest success in Black Ops 2 because, dude, I'm good at COD. Like, I go in there, crush those KDs. Like, so it was pretty easy. I would just make COD videos and, like, I mean, come on. If you're going to start YouTube, you're going to start doing Call of Duty videos. If not, you're doing it wrong. I'm just kidding.
Well, I was fishing for Minecraft because I thought there might have been a secret there. Because I thought that's the second. It's he's done Minecraft.
Dude, you're either throwing knifing people across the Rust, trying to get those throwing knife final kill cams, or you're teaching people how to build houses in Minecraft. That's how you start on YouTube. But then I went from like random Call of Duty videos. I moved into Borderlands. I really like Borderlands. I did Borderlands 2 for a while, and that's kind of how the loot thing went going. For some reason, I spent a good chunk of time covering Battlefield 4. I was a Battlefield 4 YouTuber, and I actually had somewhat success on that. And then when Destiny came out, transitioned into Destiny, called my loot dream.
You've
been around the freaking block, man. But it's good though. It's good to like have that experience in other games and the like.
Absolutely. It means that someone can't just go to you and say, "Oh, but you're only a Destiny YouTuber. You know, fuck all about insert game here." You know, like it's a good thing, man. It's a good thing. And Black Ops 2, TBH, I wasn't really watching YouTube around when I was playing Black Ops 2, but going through your backlog, yeah, you're pretty good at it, man. Pretty good at it. You'd probably give me a run for my money, I guess.
Oh,
dude,
right.
I still play I played Black Ops 3 today. I played a little bit of Black Ops 3, did my daily double, got crap all, and I was like, never playing again.
Like, the fact that you've been through so many games is just a huge accomplishment on YouTube as a platform. Like, congratulations to keep that up and to be able to pivot. Like, if I stop doing Destiny lore videos, my channel will just fizzle into nothing, I reckon.
There'll be a bomb.
I pivoted at the right time. I pivoted when I was like kind of small enough that it didn't hurt me too much, but like big enough that I had somewhat of an audience going into the new venture.
Across, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was a risk. It was a risk, but like a lot of the Borderlands carried over into, and I found that as well. I covered The Division pretty hardcore when it came out for about a year, and I couldn't do both because I was in school at the same time. And there was actually quite a good audience retention. A lot of people who got The Division were playing Destiny 2 at the same time. So some things kind of transition, other things completely don't. It's pretty weird.
So how many subs did you have when you decided to go over to Destiny? Do you remember?
Oh, I think around 50,000 coming from the Borderlands. Okay. Maybe a little bit more, like between 50 and 75. I can't really remember at this point.
Still a fair whack.
Mm.
Well, yeah. I guess.
So you don't have to answer this, but has it always been full time, or were you studying and doing it? Like when did you think, okay, I can really sink a lot of time into this?
No, I was doing it for a long time, and then I was doing university at the same time, and I graduated last fall 2016, and at that point the Rise of Iron was like just kind of coming out, and I was like, you know what, I think it became worth it to do it full time.
Yeah,
but I was doing it and school for the longest time.
Why was you studying?
I was graduated in business.
Nice, man. That's awesome. I always find that jump is so hard, and I always like to congratulate people that make that jump because it's fucking scary as hell. Jumping into YouTube full time is super scary, and so yeah, you've not only pivoted so many times in channel and been successful with that, but also to pull your chips in to do it full time is really, really cool, man.
I think the main thing was like when I did it full time, it was a good decision in the sense that I was doing very well at the time with Rise of Iron and stuff. I think the risk is like if you're in that state where it's like, oh, this could go up or down. I think some people may kind of bite off more than they can chew trying to go full time. Because also I was like, bro, I'm gonna be done school. I'm gonna get to play video games all day. It's gonna be easy. And I don't know. I honestly don't know how I did it with school because I'm still like working like not like trudging through the muck like it's hell or anything. But I work a lot on YouTube, and it's kind of like I don't know how I did it with midterms at the same time. Jeez.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, I guess there's a little take-home point for all the budding YouTubers out there that basically...
Just don't do it.
If you want to make it big on YouTube, it takes one simple thing. Years of hard work.
That's, very quickly, like, that's actually the point. Like, literally the secrets to success on YouTube is just, you gotta put... It's just a grind. Like, it's just experience. Like, if my beginning videos were terrible, you learn as you go. Like, it's really hard to start out strong. Like, really hard to do that.
We've all made YouTube videos that we probably look back on and regret. Maybe some of us more than others.
Hey, do you remember your first YouTube video, Rick? What was your very
Dude, it was
first
like
video?
I think it was some stupid, like, 3-man gun game. It was like a 30-second video. It was so terrible. Then I did these like terrible dual commentaries with my brother. We thought we were funny. I still think they're kind of funny videos, but I'm gonna go private them as soon as I mention that. But
are they still
dude, it is trash.
Are they still up there?
Dude, I don't delete shit. What am I? Come on.
No, they're not on private.
Dude, I'm private. No one's gonna trudge through that long of videos.
Everyone quickly go to his channel.
My fucking scroll game is strong. It is strong.
Like, I still thought they were funny, so.
It's like, Matt, how many videos have you got that are just private only?
I've got 100 on private.
What? Okay, you need to give me access to them. And then I'm going to blackmail you into giving me
the story with that is it took me 100 videos before I found lore videos, and then as soon as I decided to make a lore channel, I basically wanted a really consistent message on the channel, and so I privated everything that wasn't a lore video.
Hey, I probably should have done that. But you know what? Dude, I had Borderlands 2 videos that still were doing well when I was in Destiny. They still get views, man.
Yeah.
I still get comments on them of people being like, "This is outdated." It's like, yeah, it was made 7 years ago. Like, what do you expect?
It was cutting edge at the time, motherfucker.
Fuck's sake.
Jesus.
People can't read descriptions most of the time. You're like, seriously, just look at the date that it's
Date
uploaded.
there, for God's sake.
Dude, I've had a couple of people be like, in super old videos, like, "You can't do this anymore, idiot." I'm like, yeah, it's 5 years old. Yeah, like, what? I know.
Oh god,
Oh,
that's
wow.
funny, man.
There's some special
Well,
people out there.
I know what I'm doing after this. I'm fucking trolling through Rick Akis' video.
It's a gold mine, I'm telling you guys.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna go and try and pinpoint when the intro started. The Rick Akis special intro.
Oh, I used to say like my intro like so fast, even like in the like Vault of Glass video. I want to say like, I'm like, "What is up, guys? Rick Hack is here," like so fast. I'm like, what was I thinking? They're just trying to spit it out. I guess it was nerves, or I don't know what. Again, that's just experience. You just get more experience, you get better at doing things.
Do you think that if Bife had his time over again, he wouldn't go, my name is Bife?
Do you get into it?
Because it makes me think of Eminem every time he does it. My name is really.
Dude, you get into a trend. Like, I just started saying, "What's up, guys? Rick Hack is here," and some people get triggered by it. They're like, "Who says what's up, guys? Like, what a stupid intro." And it's like, you just. I started doing it. You can't stop. Like, you can't change. It feels weird to change it. And then I've like a couple of times for certain videos not said it, and then people get all freaked out. They're like, "Where's the regular intro?" It's like, what do you guys want from me?
What do you want from me?
Okay. Wow. Right, anyway, we can talk about Destiny now. Sorry.
Yeah, do you want to talk about
hey,
Destiny now?
Nah, let's not.
Sure.
Let's just talk.
Fuck it. Let's just stay here and talk shit all night. Order pizza. Fuck it. Why not?
So the
All right.
farm. That's where we were. We were at the farm. Well, we weren't at the farm.
Yes.
We'll talk about the farm.
I was at the farm.
I was not.
I was at the
So tell me about the farm.
There was nothing.
Yeah, I heard.
Oh, don't be
Rick, what was there?
defeatist, Matthew.
What was there?
Dude, there were. I mean, yeah, there wasn't like any NPC or any like. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what people expected. People expected like a ghost where you like did it and then Kate 6 would appear and give you an exotic or something. I don't know what people expected, but like I was really happy with like when I first went into farm and there. What's the thing, like 20 guys, like 26 people. Dude, when there was like 26 people in there and there was like 12 people just playing soccer, and then I like looked over and there's still like blue dots everywhere trying to explore. It was like, okay, this is pretty cool. Like the fact that they can fit 26 people in there instead of 16, I think that's a big deal. I think that's gonna make it like way more fun and interactive. Like, and dude, what is that? 13v13 soccer games? Like that's gonna be hilarious.
Jeez.
Yeah, it'd be difficult to coordinate too.
Oh well, you can't even control the ball. You can't. There's absolutely no relevance to where you touch it. So it's all about the meme.
Einstein's theory of relativity and physics do not have anything on this ball. Like it's just got its own mind. It's like, I'm going this way, kicked it that way.
It's
what was with that? Do you reckon that's how it's meant to be, or do you reckon that was just like a early build of it?
Dude,
listen, we already know it's an old build anyway.
They must have spent so much time programming that ball because they did literally the opposite of all the other physics in the game. Like, I don't know how they did it, but
Breaks
they
the
did.
engine.
I mean, there was some cool sort of I wouldn't call them puzzles, but there was some jumping, climbing maneuvers.
Yeah, like you could get up and you could take the wires across. Like that's purposely done so you could go to each of the different buildings. I think in the full game, like someone actually said in the comments, I thought it was interesting. They're like, okay, you can go up in these top of the roofs. Like, what if Xur spawns there? I was like, that's actually, there's these little platforms up top there. There's little sections. I think Xur could spawn on one of the top things.
Yeah, I think that would actually. I reckon that would be pretty cool, actually. Yeah.
I could
and
totally.
People are like, I
can't
get to Xur.
Yeah.
But you know what? When I first spawned in, I was watching Matt do his middle of the night stream because he's a fucking mental case. And no, but like I loaded in, And the first thing that really hit me is that opening shot. So you got your warehouse. So I'm facing where you spawn in. You got your landing pad behind you. You got your warehouse there on your right. You got these cluster of buildings where the Cryptarch and the Eververse and God knows what else is there on the left. The soccer field, and then the Shard of the Traveler smoking in an electrical storm sort of situation. And I was thinking to myself, that is fucking cool. And the more time I spent there, the realization of the weather and the day and night cycles and all that sort of thing, the longer you spend in there, it's not just a static thing. So it's like you go into the tower, it's night. You go into the tower, it's day, it's afternoon, blah, 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 blah. You go into the farm, and it's quite dynamic. And I am very impressed by that. Like, the skybox was beautiful. Like, you go out to the edges of the map and stuff, and you see the little other settlements off into the distance, and you see the flames flickering and all that sort of thing. That's pretty cool. That's a lot of work, and I'm very, very happy with that.
I saw some time lapse videos just of the sun rising over a mountain, and they're epic, man. Like, I'm not normally one for all artistic shit like that, but seriously, I was impressed.
The skyboxes in Destiny have always been like unreal. Even if you go into Cosmodrome, it's like they're really, really good.
That's what sometimes upsets me, is like people don't take in that as much as they should with missions or like strike missions. It's just like this foot race to the end. It's like, oh my God, like amount of times, like when I was with like lore videos and I do like the HUDless with like, you know, no gun either. People are like, was that always there? I was like, yeah, you just don't walk slow enough or like look at anything when you leg it through these areas.
Sometimes it's not people's fault though. Like in the Vault of Glass, like the end area, the Vault of Glass is insane. You get the massive like crystalline pyramid, but when you go in there, Atheon spawns right away. There is no time to look at shit. You're being shot at like immediately, so you don't have time to look at skyboxes all the time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But like you said, like they put a lot of work into these areas, and it's only after people have done the content, like the actual content of like shooting the mans and doing the missions and all that sort of thing, people go, oh shit, there's a sun up there that doesn't actually just stay in the sky. It just keeps moving and moving and moving. You know, like that sort of thing, the way that it's supposed to be, you know, IRL. And there's people like Jazz and other screenshot aficionados that we've come across on Twitter and so forth, that actually takes people to go stop and smell the rose and go, fuck, there's a lot of work that goes into this. So hopefully people can actually see that. Hopefully people can actually see that.
I guess
it generally just adds to the ambiance, though. Like, you don't always have to like specifically notice it. I think in the background you notice it.
Oh shit, yeah.
That ties into what I was going to say, and it's kind of like the visual analog for lore. Like, the lore is this backstory that if you kind of blast through it, you miss the game, or you blast through the game, like you race through a mission, you miss for the most part the lore. You also miss for the most part the visual aspect. It's when like you sort of get to slow down, and maybe it's not a new content release. You know, you're 3 or 4 months in, you get to really spend your time going through things and understanding the context of them. And I think Destiny is a game that will continue to do that well. And the attention to detail has always been there, and I imagine it will be going forward. And that's just another example of it.
And so, were there anything else maybe that we didn't cover, Rick, in the farm? I know there was a secret room behind about Tarakan area, the Cryptarch area. We saw Tess Everest's stall as well.
Well, there's a couple of like secrets in the sense that, you know, I would say even getting on top, the fact that you can like jump and then get on top of all those buildings, you know, that's not inherently obvious. People had to discover that. I'm sure there's people out there who went in some lobby. No one went up there. Like, no one could make that jump, or no one figured out how to do that jump, right? There's really interestingly, there's an open door in the side of the warehouse that it just leads into darkness.
Yeah.
There, on the side of the warehouse, there was just kind of like a storm shelter that's ajar. Like, the door's open. There's a staircase that leads down, but it's all black right now. It's kind of like an enemy spawn room. So maybe they're going to open that up for the full game. Maybe that's somewhere, again, that Xur can go. Like, it just kind of seems so strange that they have this, like, ajar doors, stairway down into nothing. It's like, well, if there's nothing down there, close the doors. Like, why are you tempting me, Bungie? It could just be, like, them doing that. But I thought that was potentially something's going to be down there.
There was lots of vendor potential spots. Like there was lots of spots on the map that had like weapon racks and like guns and.
I mean, that's exactly what I said in my video too, where it's like, I was walking around being like, oh, here's where the gunsmith is going to be. 10 feet later, oh, here's where the gunsmith might also be. Like, you keep doing that.
Yeah.
But then you go up onto the second level of the warehouse on the right that you spawn in, or that you spawn next to, and then you've got Hawthorne's little perch up there. You've got your little bird.
Yeah.
T-looking thing.
Oh, I missed that.
The bird wasn't there, but I saw. You have a little.
There's like the little rest type thing.
The bird stand.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
a bird stand.
Yeah. I didn't watch it, but I saw posts about Morse code or something like that. I assume that's the settlements flashing in the background.
Yeah, you went up to the top to the dome, and you hear like apparently it's Morse code. I heard a beep. I knew it was something. I didn't want to do the work, so I just not didn't want to do the work. But I heard it, and I was like, oh boy, another one of these. But right now it's undecipherable as far as I know. It gives like some numbers or something, but it doesn't. Okay. It doesn't say how to get an exotic is step 1. You know, it doesn't do anything like that.
Yeah. Well, these AR. I mean, if it's an ARG, they've been extremely complex in the past.
But sometimes they're nothing. That's the thing. People forget. Like sometimes, I think it's really important to remember. Did you guys ever like remember the sleeper simulant? Do you guys remember that when they didn't know how to get it, and there was like the whole r/search for the sleeper subreddit. Guys, the amount of theories I read and the amount of like you read them and you're like, this has got to be it. There is so much like code and things within the war stats and stuff that just ended up being nothing. Like people had deciphered Morse code within like a collector's edition journal and were trying to like pair it with other things, and there was like insane theories. But again, it was nothing. It was just time gated. So there's always that possibility that it literally is just nothing.
Yeah. I remember the backlash when it was time gated or revealed as time gated. There was
so
people had pitchforks, man.
Dude, I spent hours in Fallen Saber, hours trying to trigger stuff. Like it was unreal, and it was all for naught.
Well, we're going to go through that again when we get to that discussion about Nessus, because there are things you can trigger.
Yes, there are some things when you're walking around in the Vex milk. There are definitely some things that you could trigger in there. That's great. I love it. But let's talk about the. Oh well, no, we'll talk about the exotic stuff, and then we'll move into the thing. So, IGN have it is IGN that came out and with the new exotic pre-order bonus. It is a fusion rifle, I believe.
It's sort of its own thing.
It's a trace rifle.
Yeah,
trace rifle. Oh, sorry.
It is the only gun of its type, but they might make it an archetype.
So a trace rifle.
Yeah, that was actually pretty telling. Like they said, so it's a trace rifle, basically a laser rifle. You shoot. It's a continuous beam of damage, like low damage but super super fast. Again, a laser rifle, like from other games. But I was really surprised, like what Mylan said, where literally in the video that they're revealing it, the dev was like, yeah, this is the only gun of its kind right now, but we could do archetypes in the future. I was like, wow.
Wink.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's incredibly convenient of you. Yeah, it's just...
For those listening, I'm a winking.
Yeah. Dude, it was crazy. I didn't... You don't usually say that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Like in some sort of reveal video about a specific weapon, you just say, yeah, it's unique. It's the only one of its kind. But he's like, maybe we'll see an archetype, maybe we won't.
Hang on, was this Luke Smith again? Was this?
No.
No, it was another guy.
He's a troll. He's fine. But so it's an arc damage. Apparently it's got some recoil. So think like holding a high pressure hose on your shoulder, and it's just like trying to kick up and all that sort of thing. It can apparently still achieve precision damage and all that sort of good pish.
It's in the energy weapon slot.
Yep.
Oh, is it? Oh, well, that actually makes sense. Yeah, there you go. I didn't. I thought
I'm just thinking like it's gonna look so cool with like a whole team of Guardians with these. Like
dude,
you already know.
Ghostbusters.
People are already asking, Datto, can you do the raid with the trace rifle only? Like that's coming. It's just ghost busting.
It
bosses.
definitely looks freaking sweet.
It's
I think it'll also be really
What-
useful for people who are like Sherpas, so they can just use it as like a pointing instrument. Like you go with a
Yeah,
photo
this
there,
right here,
and
this
this,
thing.
that, and that fucking
We're
thing.
running from here,
Yeah.
Me.
here.
And
maybe
that
just for annoying your
legitimately
mates.
would be useful.
If they could make an exotic that had a secondary mode that did 0 damage, but you could use it as a laser pointer, people would get that shit.
I'd be all over it. I'd be all over it.
Soft
I'd
would
just
be
be
all
like,
over it. Explaining
I'd be
shit
like,
to me.
you see,
moron.
go to that place over there. Where there? Instead of me getting on the sticks and going, oh, for fuck's sake, jumping over. I'm really lazy. I'm not apologizing for it. I'm lazy. But yes, that's beside the point. So it will become available in early December, is what they're saying. And
December
one of the
5th.
notes, December 5th. Thank you, Rick. And then you've got one of the notes here from Matthew, who may or may not have gotten some of his information from our man here. Is
No, I watched the
can
video,
destroy a
I promise.
Cabal gunship with it.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
pretty fucking cool, just quietly. So it seems like it's a good bit of kit. But yeah,
What's
Well,
that Cabal ship called again? We saw the name for it. I can't remember that. Is it Trencher?
Yeah, I think so.
The small ones.
I think
I
so.
think
You
it's
can
called
destroy-
Trencher.
Well, you can destroy Cabal ships with anything. Like they have a health meter now, so
Yeah,
they're
they do,
just
yeah.
fully destructible. So he was just doing it with the gun. But
Yeah, because I thought about doing that in the inverted Spire, but I just never did it. And I thought it would be cool if you had your Infinite Super on and take them out. But
when
never
we Log Man at Arms and myself went into the inverted spire, spent like an hour in there just running around exploring like everyone did and all that sort of thing, which is we'll get to that in a sec, but just out of curiosity, I saw one of those ships flying over. I'm like, I wonder. And I did see that health bar, and I'd only just remembered it then. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. One of the other new things that came out from IGN was survival mode. It's competitive. It was seen in the Altar of Flame. It's on Mercury Osiris themes, and you share a pool of lives. Now that seems to me that is the new iteration of Trials of Osiris.
Do you reckon?
Oh, dude, nah.
Do you reckon?
yeah,
I
I'm
don't
gonna say
reckon.
no.
Yeah, I don't
No.
know.
Everyone, no, but I've seen people say the same thing though, Sloth, to be on your side. I've seen people say the
It's just
same
none
thing.
of them are here.
Yeah. I'm gonna disagree. Because Trials of Osiris isn't gonna be in competitive mode. Like it's its own. It's gonna be its own thing, right? It's
Yeah,
not
I
gonna
think
be.
so, yeah.
It's gonna be out. It's gonna be its complete own thing, kind of like it is now. I guess you can play Elimination, which is kind of the same thing, but
But
I
Trials
don't-
of Osiris now is in a playlist.
no. It would make sense. Honestly, it's not that outlandish, but I just don't think there's no way I can envision them revealing the actual Trials of Osiris game mode without some big deal behind it.
Exactly.
They're going to
You know
reveal
what?
it.
Yeah.
They're going to reveal it when the game is already out. They're going to have a big trailer and a big kerfuffle, and it's going to look amazing, and everyone's going to be decked out in the Trials gear with the Trials weapons, and it's going to look so cool, right? It's not going to be IGN fumbling around for 7 minutes of gameplay. That's just not how they're going to reveal it.
That is the best description of it. Why? Like, you know what shits me about those videos?
Not to hate, but it's too uncontrolled, right? I don't think that's how they're gonna do it. I could be wrong. I have no idea, but this is my opinion.
The thing that shits me about those videos is that they always edit out when the dude playing dies, and I don't know why they do it because they're not fooling
Yeah.
anyone.
I
Like,
edit out when
he
I die
definitely got
sometimes, man,
smoked
because
right
no
after
one wants
that.
to see a death screen.
If you have a look at the comments of that video, it's actually pretty hilarious because it was pretty bad gameplay and people just rip into it. They're like amazing Titan gameplay, something like that. Incredible Titan gameplay, and it was pretty it's as bad as my gameplay. It was cringy as
Hey,
hell.
dude, stop. Because the other day, you give yourself a lot of shit about being terrible at PvP. And after last week's podcast, all three of us and Man at Arms jumped in, and we played Countdown for I don't know, probably a couple of hours, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Little Lawmaster over here is nowhere near as shit as he'll lead you to believe. And I think he might actually be a hunter, too.
No. No, the
He's
trick
shit
is-
at Destiny 1.
Yeah, well, that's true as well. And the other truth is, if you just lower everyone's expectations, you seem so much better. So that's also the trick.
So you're just negging yourself. You just... What? No. Right.
Or you're blessed with that god tier matchmaking matched against scrubs.
That's probably
I think
true
that may have
too.
been the case as well.
Dude, people need to realize that like you match it is skill based matchmaking in both games, and I've seen so many people be like, "Well, I do good with this weapon." It's like, dude, that's because you're matching against people who are of your skill level that could maybe aren't as good. You know what I mean? Like people don't realize that. And then if they pair with a really good friend and then they get destroyed, then they kind of go like, oh, you know, this auto rifle is trash. Rick was right. When I'm actually versing good people.
And you always get that like games grace when you come into a new playlist, especially with something like a beta, because you haven't played before. There's no history, and like the first game of Countdown I played, we absolutely stomped the dudes.
Stomped,
and I'm like that. Oh, to the point where I'm like, I feel bad about this. And then the next game, we got absolutely roped by whoever. I'm like, God, it took a while for it to even out, and then I think we had a run of about 8 games. On Saturday, where
we did go. I was surprised. We went for a while without, because the first sort of day or 2 days I played it definitely went from stomping people and then getting stomped, stomping people and then getting stomped. I did ping pong between that.
I crushed the first 2 days. Like I had a god tier team the first day, and I was actually with Jez. He was streaming a bit, so I joined him, and we crushed that day too. And then the other days, it was like, I'm not even joking. It's not like, I legit matched against, say, Wallabra and, like, they're, like, the literal Destiny pro PvPers. I went positive still. My teammates went 0.17, so they weren't very much help. It was horrible. And I'm trying to get gameplay with, like, the sidearms and stuff, and it was just, oh, my God, it was so bad. God. It was brutal.
Oh, well, we got a little bit off track. We were talking about survival, right? The only things we didn't mention was you have a shared pool of 8 lives. You auto respawn, which reduces one of those lives. Once you're out of tickets and everyone's dead, the opposite team gets a point. First to 3 wins. And there's a central, not heavy ammo, the central power ammo pack in the middle to encourage engagements. That's the survival mode.
Definitely sounds like a fun game mode. Like it sounds perfect for that competitive thing. Like that quick player competitive. That sounds like slots into competitive perfectly.
I hope there's a rotation of game types. I hope it's like between that Countdown and maybe something we haven't seen yet. To sort of like, you don't want to be doing the same thing game in, game out. It does get a bit dry, but I mean, I like the game type. I think it's good. I don't think it's trials, especially not when we've got. What's the first DLC that's coming out? The first picture that they've showed. It's Osiris.
Yeah.
Like, there's where Trials comes back, dude.
Yeah, they're on record with saying that they're going to have like Destiny 2's version of Osiris, like with launch, not at launch, but with launch. No, you won't have to buy an expansion. Like they're on record saying that. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
See, I'm not fucking wrong. Shut up.
No, that's not.
A little bit long.
That's not what we're saying. You're definitely wrong.
One thing we did miss with the pre-orders was the Crucible shell or the
kill counter shell.
Yeah, the kill counter shell. You guys,
that thing's lit.
Yeah, so
kill counter shell.
Yeah, so
dude, you take out your shell and it tells how many people you killed in PvP, and then underneath it's PvE. Just tells your kill count.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Like,
just saying.
There's going to be, I'm telling you, every single montage clip is going to be someone taking out their kill counter shell, switching their sniper, getting a snipe, and taking it back out for that +1. I'm telling you, that's going to be the new thing.
Before it only counts up when you've finished a round in PvP, and people are like,
it looked like it was. It looked in the trailer. It counted right away. So who knows?
Can you confirm these pre-orders, Rick? Because I tried to find out. I think that you can get them all through like PlayStation and Xbox.
So the trailer came out, and I covered a video on it because it actually revealed like quite a few things. There's actually 3 exotics revealed in that trailer, and a couple of PvP maps, and a couple other things. But in the trailer, it said is it exclusive to this to Game, which is like the UK version of like GameStop or whatever.
Yeah.
Apparently,
yeah. We used to. Have
So I reported that because the trailer said Game exclusive. Like Game exclusive was this shell. I had a picture of the shell. Underneath it said Game exclusive. So you guys would think it's exclusive to game. Well, it turns out, apparently it's just exclusive to, like, everywhere you pre-order. Like, people were sending me screenshots on Twitter of just, like, on PS4 for the digital deluxe edition and so on. It just says, like, one of the contents is the kill counter shell. So apparently it's like, if you pre-order period from anywhere, it's one of the things you get for just, it's just a pure pre-order bonus. So there's a little bit of misinformation there. Not my fault, though, obviously. Like, that trailer, I don't know what they're trying to say. Obviously, it's not exclusive to them. So, but yeah, apparently it's you pre-order the game at all, you get this shell. And you get the exotic.
Yeah.
Sounds about as an exclusive as a bloody whorehouse, to be honest.
Yeah. They really, I don't know what they're thinking. They need to go relook the definition of exclusive, because it's not exclusive to them.
It's just,
You're doing it wrong.
You're doing
Yeah, it was so bizarre.
That is, oh my god.
So,
All right, well, you guys have been asking for it, as in, like, the guy to my top left and to the man to my left or right or whatever it is. You want to talk about Nessus? Let's talk about Nessus. Nessus is like, oh my god, it looks absolutely gorgeous, doesn't it, gentlemen? So the first thing that we saw, well, Matt and I saw when we were watching the release trailer was Lost Sectors. We spoke about this at length. Rick, what are your thoughts on the Lost Sectors, man?
It's really gonna depend, right? Like the base element of, like, going in, find these lost sectors, going through a dungeon, killing an enemy, you get the treasure. I am so for that. That sounds sweet.
Yep.
But how good is the treasure? How hard is the enemy?
Dude.
That's the main thing. Because if you open it up and you get, like, a blue engram, it's like, oh, okay, thanks. It's useful for a little bit. And another thing that they confirmed a long time ago was that it's not procedurally generated. So each lost sector is specifically designed, which is good in some scenarios, but bad for the end game per se.
Yeah, it's repetitious.
Exactly. And also it means that they can't just scale up. They're not scaled. They're just at a specific level. So again, it's definitely a sweet activity to do. Definitely something I'm going to be doing. Definitely improvement over Destiny 1. But my only concern is I really hope that they can have some lost sectors that are useful in the end game, because Destiny is all about the end game. You're at the end game for so long, it doesn't take long to level up. You get to that end game very quickly. So if they're not offering good rewards, they're going to be cool, but it's going to be a novelty that kind of wears off.
Yeah, I that was one of the things I brought up in this review, which I haven't put out yet, and the same question from Destiny 1 is going to come back in Destiny 2, and it's how long is the content going to last, and can they keep filling those gaps? All this stuff is exactly what we wanted, but once you've explored it, once you've gone into that, once you're going to have that amazing experience of finding the lost sector symbol, finding the entrance, going into the dungeon for the first time, defeating the boss in there, getting your loot, that feeling will slowly get less exciting the more and more you do it, especially if there's no loot reward there.
Yeah.
And they need to be able to change it or add new areas to Nessus and more dungeons and keep pushing the map out or something like that.
That's actually a little bit frustrating to hear that it's not procedurally generated.
That would have been a good idea.
That would have been.
Apparently, they're thinking about doing it in the future, but
that would have been such a good idea. Like Bloodborne, right?
Yeah. But all they need to do to Milan's point is just add strike exclusive loot in a sense, right?
Yeah,
think about how much, dude. Adding the Moggle loop made strikes that you got tired of suddenly now they're worth grinding. Now, Nightfall. Oh boy, we are grinding Omnigul because we're trying to get the when the pulse rifle is actually good, the Grasp of Malak, true. Right? Yeah. You add loot like that, so end game loot, boom, you're good to go. Like, lost sectors are relevant to the end game, but if you don't, you're in trouble.
So in the lost sector on Nessus, what we did see was the entrance to it was actually directly below it. It's not the vault-like door that, well, I thought that vault door was 100% the entrance to the lost sector, but it's not. Maybe you come out that way. I don't know. Maybe you travel back up and maybe you pass through lost sectors and there's an entry and an exit. But I don't know. It looks completely different. When you go up to the lost sector symbol, a little symbol came up called I think it said collect. I'm not 100% sure. I think it said collect data lattice. No confirmation on what that is. Is it just data lattice? I don't know if it just shows it on your map now, and now you've found that lost sector, so you can come back and re-find it, or it gives a bit of lore, or it unlocks something in there somewhere. Don't know.
The map thing is a good point. We've seen some screenshots from the maps where they show on the map a little tiny lost sector symbol, and presumably those will only come up if you do something like either you stumble upon it or like you scan or get the data lattice and checks it. That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Interesting. In that lost sector on Nessus, the boss was a Primus, who is a really, really high-ranking Cabal from the lore. Like, the only person that outranks the Primus is, like, the Emperor and now Gol. So, pretty cool that there was that kind of boss. It didn't look super tough, but we actually haven't really seen too many Primuses in Destiny 1. I think we've only seen 2, and one we didn't even fight. I think one of them was taken. Yeah. But they should be big units. They should be like your Valuses almost, but, yeah, still pretty cool.
They can't all be tough, man. We've got to get a crappy one every now and then. He's like the new guy. Oh, man. He got promoted to Primus.
The new Primus, who is one below the Emperor.
No, he's the Emperor's cousin. He's not supposed to be there.
Exactly.
They promoted him, you know what I mean?
Jobs for the boys.
Cuz I've got a really important role for you. It's in a dungeon. I need you to.
He's like, this dungeon's super strategic. You gotta really watch it.
Yeah, let's just stick him there. He's fucking hopeless out in the field. Get in that dungeon. Nothing. Just stay out of the way. Keep your head down.
Yeah.
Now there might be some people coming to get you.
We started talking about this before, which was when we spoke about the Sleeper Simulator and doing different combinations to trigger things. And I think probably flashpoints are probably a good thing to chat about.
Yeah.
So tell us about the flashpoints, Matt.
Okay, so from what I can gather is flashpoints will be on a certain location each week. I think a planet. I don't think just or could be an area. I think they just said location. So I don't know if it's just a planet or an actual area.
You want me to do this?
Yeah, go on.
Hey, step aside, kid.
All right, I'll introducing our brand new host,
I'm sorry,
Mr. Rick Kakis. Matthew, thank you for coming on.
All right. Let me just explain exactly what it is.
He's off.
And we'll go back to Violet. Listen. No, it's just going to be per planet. All it really is in essence is like every week a certain planet is featured, and you have like a little symbol, and it's just out of 100%, and you just do public events. You fill up that 100%. When you fill up the 100%, you get loot. At the meantime, there's like stuff going on. However, apparently there's going to be like secret bosses that spawn. So like when you do a public event, if you do it really fast, or if you trigger the heroic version, so every public event is going to have something you can do. It wasn't really specific, like maybe like some random enemy that you have to kill or something you can do to make it a heroic public event, like make it more difficult, and then you get better loot. But yeah, you can do that stuff, and it'll spawn these like special bosses that only spawn when it's flashpoints, and there's going to be treasures, which I think you're going to talk about in a bit. But yeah, that's basically what flashpoints are.
You know, we should get someone who does Destiny news all the time on the podcast. Our value's going through the roof.
This week we're actually informative.
This whole flashpoint situation, and someone has brought it up in the chat there before. It adds a bit of difference. It's not just one and done type situations. Like you go, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go and roll into this public event, and then you go, oh shit, I killed the wrong thing, or I hit the wrong button, or something like that, and then like 4 Cabal ships come down with 3 Primuses with fucking massive guns and shit, you know, like that sort, like obviously not that, but you know what I mean, like it gives it a little bit of an extra oomph, I guess you could say, like a bit of grunt to it. Like you go, oh shit! Well, this is going to be difficult. This is going to be quite difficult. So I mean, we better band together and do it. So, and that to me ties into the way the beta was, that you have to play as a team. It's not relying on abilities. You have to make callouts. You have to do what you do to win. Fucking flies. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just gives you something to do. There wasn't really a huge reason to go into patrol at all in Destiny, right? So they're on record in saying that flashpoints will offer up to Nightfall tier rewards, which means it's relevant for the end game, which is great.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, when they were talking about it, they were talking about, you know, looking at Archon's Forge and looking at the Reef and making that more in the open world to have activities like that. On the really like critical side, though, you know, they were talking, you know, we've got all these new public events. They looked pretty similar, right? They were like defend this point, cap this point. But that's why I think flashpoints was added. All right, you do a certain amount of public events. Now you're like getting the player base to invest in the area, randomly meeting with people. I think that adds a lot of value. To then get, what was it, prestigious engram?
Yeah, it was prestigious loot, which who knows what that means, and it was green, so who knows what that means.
I thought it was white.
No, it was, the text was green. There was a little white. Yeah, it was a white icon, but the text was green.
Oh,
so
okay.
what is it? So who? Honestly, no one knows what it means.
Yeah.
But
and treasure maps. Apparently, you can buy a treasure map from Cade, and that will always be on the planet that the flashpoint is on.
Yeah.
Yep.
So presumably, you must have something to do with flashpoints. I think you probably have to like activate it by killing one of the secret bosses. I would say. You know what I mean?
See, Greg's fucking already in the rabbit hole, man. He's already spending
that's what
hours.
I think. Like, I don't think it's gonna be like, oh, go to Nessus, check under this rock. There you go. Like, you gotta activate it somehow. Come on.
Yeah.
I see this treasure map behind this locked wall of 4,000 lasers and Vex that will kill me instantly. I wonder how I'm going to get to it.
Don't
click a button or fight a few enemies.
Yeah. The thing is, it sounded like he was. It very much sounded like how they worded it. It sounded like he was some sort of like rotating NPC. He's like a gunsmith type of character, or like a Zavala. Every week you go and you get your treasure maps, and it coincides with the flashpoints. So it can't just be a pure treasure map, because like you can't just go and find, because you start finding the same thing. You know what I mean? It's like, I know which tree to go to. You go and dig it up again. So you're gonna have to kill something, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you do. You really do.
Old quests.
Someone in the chat just brought up before, and I've spoken to Log about this at length. I'm not even sure if I've spoken to Mylan about it though. I hope they bring back Year 1 Nightfalls. If you fail it, you get kicked to orbit. You come back down, and then you start again. That was the best thing about Nightfalls. What do you mean it won't work? Of course it will work.
Not with abilities as they are at the moment.
Well, don't be daft with running your silly, just don't be daft. Don't be daft.
I think it's too hard to reach a DPS that you need to. It would be so grindy,
Okay,
I think.
right.
I
understand that the beta...
Dude, you're missing out on the casuals, man. This game is so casual. You can't have that. Come on.
God. Shush. But no, you say that it's going to be like you won't get enough DPS, you won't be able to do this, you won't be able to do that. It's supposed to be difficult, and the beta is an old build. The weapons were the things are going to change prior to the release.
I think we can talk.
We've still got the PC beta to go. We've still what are we like 45 days from release or something like that?
I don't know.
Like.
Yeah.
Like it's
6 weeks,
like it's literally Nightfalls is supposed to be difficult. Bring that back. That's just my take on it. You want your Infinite Lines helmet. I want Nightfalls to be backlog.
I agree with everything you said, but it's not going to I I'm sorry, but yeah, like it's I agree. Like, it kind of, you lose the spirit of Nightfalls a little bit when you're like getting to do it, restart 40 times. But yeah. Oh, Jay Sniperton's in chat. What up, boy?
Sniperton. Good evening, sir.
What up?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Sloth totally. I stopped taking Nightfall seriously once. I think probably most Year 1 players probably did, in that it became this sort of like, well, they're nowhere near as hard as they were, but It is what it is. I don't think you're going to get your wish, Sloth, and for that matter, I don't think I am either. I don't think the Infinite Lines helmet is going to be anywhere near Destiny 2. I will have a cry. I will have a cry. I love that helmet. It's the only one I've ever really worn. But, sometimes you got to eat a shit sandwich. What are we up to? Where are we up to? We're up to
World Quest.
World Quest.
World Quest.
I'm excited
which
about
we
this
hadn't
first
seen
one.
before, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, they seem pretty crazy.
Go on.
All right, hang on. As the Destiny
going.
Daily newsman or Destiny semi-daily sort of newsman, Rick, what is your take on World Quest? Because I didn't actually get that far into the IGN article, so I'm sort of running a bit blind here. Father duties, you know what it's like. Or maybe
Yeah, well, hey, listen, if you want great recaps, there's this guy called Smackus or something. I don't know. He's got a channel. You should check him out.
He does Minecraft.
Crackers!
He
house
does
building.
Minecraft videos mostly, but he also does Destiny. Yeah, that was actually kind of interesting. That was really interesting to see, and it was like, I had thought for a while that adventures were kind of like the quests. Adventures
Same.
were like the side quests that you could do, and they, when they talked about it previously, they had made it seem like adventures were a little bit bigger than what they alluded to in this new video.
Yes.
Yeah. So they seem a little.
Adventures are bites. If
Yeah.
adventures are bite-sized stories,
Yeah.
world quests are much larger chunks
Yeah.
of story and narrative.
Yes, and again, the developer really clearly said, like, the world quests are something you can do after the campaign. So there's going to be campaign missions and adventures and these world quests. Like, there's just a bunch of different stuff that you can do.
Well, it won't unlock until after the campaign.
Yeah, it's an
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. There's
Yeah.
So that's
And it
interesting.
will, which is sort of like, so that implies that it's, like one example is failsafe on the colony ship. So this is like a side piece of lore.
I'm not 100% sure it only unlocks after the campaign. I think the developer, from what I remember, said, like, it's something you can do when you're done the campaign, in the sense that it's just like something else you can do. That's how I took it. You could be right, though. I don't know.
Okay.
I'd totally like to argue the point, but I'm not an idiot, and I'm not going to get into an argument about Destiny content with the Rick Hackers.
I'm not always right. I'm just saying that's how I took it. That's how I took it.
Trust me, you'll be hearing from me if you're wrong, motherfucker. But anyway.
Oh, my God.
But I mean, really, so I think the story of Exodus Black and Failsafe is the largest story on Nessus. On each planet, there will be a story like that. That will be a world quest, and then we'll have side quests, which
could always be two. Like, there's nothing stopping them from doing like 2 world quests, though. You know what I mean? Like, of two big
tangents.
sprawling stories. It's just the world quests, I took it, were like the larger quests, larger than adventures.
Yeah.
Somewhere in between adventures and campaign missions.
yes, which is pretty cool.
I also think
I don't think you're wrong. Where each place has their own big, like, their one. But like, again, there's nothing stopping. Why can't there be 2 Nessus world quests? That would be sweet.
Yeah. I agree. I think that these are all, my conclusion for because a lot of people didn't like the beta, and going into Destiny 2, and I think Destiny 2 has a lot to prove to get people back and to keep people to keep playing this franchise essentially. And I think, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts, is I feel like there's a portion of people that will be so resentful that this is what was sort of promised in Destiny 1. Like, this is the sort of world that they were selling and we never got. And it does feel like this is what we should have had for quite a while now. And can people really go into Destiny 2 and know that Destiny 1 was Destiny 0, comic book 0, and was just a practice run, a really long practice run for 3 years? Thoughts?
I don't think it was,
because the only reason I say that, there was so much toxicity when I was watching some of the people giving their thoughts, their first impressions on the beta, and that, I think I'm pretty sheltered in my YouTube channel, and it was interesting to see some other people's point of views that are the outside the Destiny community that might be looking in to see if they want to get into Destiny 2 and, like, hey, man, this is what you should have given us ages ago.
Dude, I'll put it
You
this
know
way.
what?
I'll put it this way.
Those kind of people. All right, go on.
I'll put it this way. I went onto the Destiny Reddit, like, after the PlayStation beta, whatever the fuck, had opened. Xbox wasn't open yet, so I hadn't been playing it, and I thought, I'm just going to go and pick up just what the general things people are saying were. And literally, I left for fear of contracting a terminal illness. It was that fucking bad. It was just so aggressive. And part of me wants to believe that, the people who had nothing mean-spirited to say and weren't just being dissentful little shits were probably off playing the beta. And maybe that's true. But, they still do reflect a percentage of the fan base of this game or the demographic that it's aimed at. And I think you're right, Matt, in that people are still bitter about being promised the world in Destiny 1 and not getting it. And
sold DLCs and spending a lot of cash. And then you just have change. And people don't like change either. And they just complain about everything.
That's business.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I know that's such a simple explanation. Yeah, but guess what? There were writing issues with D1. There was music issues with D1. And they had to make the best of what they did. If you go to Activision and Bungie and just say, you guys are fucking sorry, I'll try and refrain my swearing. You guys are bloody horrible.
It's a bit late, mate.
Yeah, no, but you guys are bloody horrible. You're just reselling the same thing. I'm upset because this is what Destiny 1 should have been. Those kind of people can get out of the communities. Yeah, because guess what? We don't want those kind of people in the communities. We want the people who offer constructive criticism and not just spew hate. I've done it. I've spewed hate at Bungie before. I know Logger's done it. I'm not sure about Matt and Rick.
Well, when it came to the lore, I definitely had a bit of a
dude.
No, but everyone is human. But if you're going to sit there and just yell at people who enjoy Destiny, let people enjoy things like that meme. Shh, let other people enjoy things.
It's okay.
Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy or girl or whatever that you identify with.
Why don't we just quickly do a bit of a summary on what we've heard, the negative things that people have said about it, and try and give our slant on it or our take on it. I think for the most part, we can say that the four of us all pretty much enjoyed the beta, or the most part of it.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
So obviously, if you're listening to, I'm going to question why you're listening to a fucking Australian Destiny podcast if you really think Destiny is shit, and you're an hour into an episode. But fucking hey, we're going to do it.
God damn it.
I mean, yeah, we've got the obvious things, like the PvP things that people were bringing up, like how long it takes for your super to charge, how long it takes for your health to come back. The only getting one super in a game unless you are absolutely killing it. I mean, honestly, I go alright at PvP. I had games where I didn't even get one up. For me, I can go, yeah, you know what? I probably played shit that game, and maybe that's what I deserve. But at the same time, people are going to come in, and they kind of expect to be given it, but be that as it may, it is.
I mean, those things don't even matter because they're changeable. And the number one thing that I would say about the beta is Bungie have learned from Destiny 1 and things are much more flexible. Rick mentioned before, the matchmaking is separate now for different playlists, for quick play, for Crucible. We know that they removed roles. Now they can change individual weapons. I said now we can hone in on the individual weapons that are performing too, and we can bring them back into line, or we can help everything up. Recharge times are changeable. Yeah. Like those things that people are complaining about, I don't really think have a leg to stand on. Bungie will listen to change that, right? The things that I would question is the direction, and with the PvE content, that is exactly what they needed to deliver, and that's what they've done. I think the campaign mission was awesome. I think the cutscenes were awesome. So everything for the PvE side of things, I think is looking up, and they have addressed a lot of the major concerns they have with Destiny 1. The issue is always going to be the same. It's whether they can provide enough content. And, if people get a certain percentage through and the content runs dry, I think they'll, happen in Destiny 1. I think they have to do it right this time. And I think they're quite cognizant of that because they've mentioned it lots of different times that we've got planned content to keep you guys. And that is hard. The Destiny community is an oiled machine with destroying content as quickly as possible. Like,
yes,
that is a hard job. And if they can get close to just satisfying that need, they've got, someone who's going to invest in Destiny for the next 10 years, right, with the Destiny plan. Matchmaking and connection. I think the number one complaint I saw from PvP players, I don't think people were happy with the emphasis on team shooting. I really liked it,
but I got the impression.
I feel like it sort of appeals to maybe more casual players. That's a general impression I got from PvP.
You calling me a casual?
I've called myself a casual.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And hunters, and I think hunters don't. We talked about this before. Hunters don't have a way to contribute to a team.
All right. Dude, I'm gonna apologise on air to Anon the other night. He came out with some really well worded criticism of the way the hunter class was set up and all that sort of stuff, and I just completely went, well, what, have a win, rah, and jumped on him. And I apologise. Just roll the Titan, pissant, you'll be fine. And to all the hunters out there, honestly, I feel for you. If
the hunters thought they were hot shit going into that beta and coming out, now they're all like, no, I was always a Titan main. I don't know what you're talking about.
I've been running Titan since day one, scrambling to try and make a Titan to level 40. No,
yeah,
but
exactly.
The hunters, yes, okay. The hunters, they have there was a rant on this. I think I've gone on a rant on this 3 weeks in a row now. But the hunters, they don't contribute. Well, they can't really contribute very much at the moment.
Yeah.
At the moment, although the most fun I had playing the beta was playing as a hunter, especially the Arc Strider, because that was a lot of fun. The super is fun to use, even though it's a little bit slow, and that's both on PvP and PvE. Like the button combinations, the fact that it's a risk versus reward playstyle. You get right up there and you kill an enemy with a melee. You've got your rollback. You roll near the enemies. You got your melee back. So it's a very technical gameplay, I guess you could say. It's a little bit more technical from what I could say than the Sentinel, which is the Defender Titan that can now throw his shield Captain Cosmodrome style.
Dude, I think that's something that I've said a couple of times now. And I did end up saying this to Anon after I got bored of antagonising him. But I think that we've got to remember that like Striker for me, I jumped into it and I nearly knew what I was doing straight away. Like I understood, bang, I've got a sort of souped up shoulder charge in there. I just, I can slam multiple times and I know how to slam. I've done it, been doing it for 3 years now. I'm pretty good at it. I think there's small things in the nuance of these new subclasses, and I mean all of them, like all of the new subclasses. Yep. I've heard, people say similar things about the Dawnblade as well, that it was a bit underwhelming and stuff. And then I see Gigs like playing with it and flying along, like not even touching the ground for the length of his entire super and being up in the
Apache
air,
helicopter,
going like, okay, here's a dude who's really switched on to like getting the most out of it. And holy fuck, once everyone figures out how to do that, I don't want to be anywhere near that shit. Like, it's fucking death from above. So I think it's a good example of like right now you've had a long weekend to acquaint yourself with what this subclass is and what it does. And only half of it, mind you. The half of it's still behind lock and key. So really, you got to remember that, I think you're going to see a hell of a lot more of it, and it's going to be refined. Like people... The thing I like most about it is that it's going to end up like this, like the Crotus sword. Everyone has these like, RB, RT. They've got their combos and things like that. Where, discussing the Sentinel, you do your shield throw, and then maybe you can get it back by the end of that super. There's different combinations and ways to deploy a super now that would have just been a one and done thing. Like I see that as a positive thing because it brings in this element of, I'm not going to soil fighting games by saying it's like a fighting game, but there's that element there that, you know, here's the move, here's what the top dudes do, here's the guy who makes PvP videos who can now make a video breaking down how best to deploy the Arc Strider Super. I think it adds depth where there was none, right?
Yes.
That's my
I think an important thing to remember, though, is that, listening to you guys, people, I think people can be way too negative, absolutely. But people, they're complaining for a reason.
Yes,
and I think it's kind of a slippery slope on both sides because, people get way too negative, complain about stuff that they really shouldn't complain about. People complaining about the power armor drops and like flipping out about it, and then Bungie came out during the beta and was like, guys, this is going to be fixed. We've already addressed this in PvE. It'll be dropping a lot more. But people often forget the other side of the slope, whereas like way too often people get entrenched and become like such Bungie fanboys that they will just jump on anyone offering legitimate criticism. I found out that found that a lot, when I would because I'd never been afraid to like make videos criticizing aspects of Destiny. Is like people would just hate on you for doing, like, for example, I did like a video called like the no hype review of like, I think it was the Rise of Iron. It was just something where I just kind of said, let's look at actually the content being offered, let's cut away the hype. And literally a comment that stuck out to me was someone saying, like, F you for, like, ruining the hype. Like, he was mad at me for, like, cutting through the hype. He wanted to, like, keep the hype up. And I was like, that's kind of weird, right? That someone's like, no, I want this fog of hype, and I don't want to think logically. It's like, wait, what?
But your title was
No Hype Review.
No hype.
Yeah, I don't know what you expected.
I wanted the hype.
What you expected. But again, like for the PvE stuff, I think that's a legitimate concern. You come into Destiny 2 from Destiny 1, you do this strike, you're not interested in PvP, which there's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of people who just don't want to play Crucible at all. In fact, there's like a scarily large amount of those people. And they join into the Inverted Spire, and their super doesn't charge for half the damn strike, and they don't get to use their grenades, and then when they do, they don't blow anyone up. You can see, and again, I'm just talking from the perspective of these people, I can totally see why they were just kind of like, what the heck is going on? Now, for me, as someone who plays both, I totally could understand the changes, because I like PvP as well, and I'm liking it a lot more in Destiny 2. I'm more willing to accept those changes. But again, you can understand why people got upset and were like fuming on Reddit, because it was a big change, and I don't necessarily think Bungie did implement it, the best way. They should have known, hey, let's chalk up the power ammo spawns, for goodness sakes. Like, you get like one magazine of sniper rifle ammo an entire strike, something is wrong. Like a little warning sign, something has gone wrong. Also, again, at the end of the day, these are the same developers that told us skill-based matchmaking hadn't been implemented, and when it had, and they got in a bunch of trouble for doing that. Like, they're not perfect, and also when I look at how far the game's evolved, Destiny 1 vanilla, farming spin metal on Earth for 4 hours to level up your weapon. People forget those days. People are so quick to forget that because of people bitching and moaning and hating on the game, that they fixed it and it's now so much better. So yes, you could be too negative, but you can also be too positive and kind of like attack the good criticisms, I think. So it's an even playing field. You gotta try to be middle of the road. You gotta try to take in all perspectives.
I think Rick does a hell of a lot better job at that than us. I'm just kidding. I'm on the hype train.
I'm really nervous now about my video.
Listen. It's a slippery slope, and yes, you like. Sometimes we jump on people for having different criticisms. That's the freedom of the internet.
Yeah. No. Again, it's just. It's something that I think, for people listening, is something you got to be cognizant of. Just like it's because it works both ways. Just like how people are like way too easy to attack stuff. Again, attacking the power ammo changes before the weekly update hadn't even come out. It's like day one strike, and you're already typing up a paragraph on Reddit about how terrible something is. It's like, okay, give it until the end of the beta, spaz. At the other side of the spectrum, you can't be like attacking everyone with criticisms because like you think this game has been like handed down on high of like a perfect picture of awesomeness, right? Because neither are true.
Exactly. The middle of the road is always true. But
And you can't always sit on the fence, unfortunately. Either you fall on one side or the other. Sometimes there's no grey area.
Yeah,
and
it's an interesting thing because you mentioned changes. That's the thing. They made changes. Like, it's kind of like the damned if you do, damned if you don't. If they didn't make any changes, we'd be like, what the hell, Destiny 1.5 trash game. But now they have made these bold changes, and some people love it and some people hate it, but that's what the result of making a big change is.
Yeah,
absolutely. Put very eloquently, mate. Very eloquently. Thank you for that.
That's why you've got 500,000 or more subscribers.
Gold play button.
Less than 500,000. Come on.
Less than half. You're close though, are you not?
Listen, 438, but who's counting?
438, 574, but who's counting?
Yeah.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. That is the end of the cast. Thank you so very, very much to our special guest, Mr. Rick Kackis. You can find him twitch.tv KackisHD. You can find him on Twitter at KackisHD.
Rick Kackis.
Sorry, at Rick KackisHD. And you can find him on YouTube. No, did I fuck that up again? My bad.
At Rick Kackis. No HD, just at Rick Kackis on Twitter.
At Rick Kackis. I know how to words.
Listen, don't worry about it. No one follows me on Twitter, so it's not a big deal.
And make sure you go to his YouTube, youtube.com/KackisHD, or if you want to get really technical, /user/ Rick Kackis. Sorry, KackisHD. I can speak. I have been Real Time Sloth. He has been Log Power Slave. He has been Mylan Games. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the DDU podcast for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Catch you later.
So I'm not going to talk about the clan thing then?
Ah, fuck it.
All right, next week.
The Destiny lore will find you.
Oh my God.
We were already sugarcoating and saving up content because there's no beta anymore. Look at what you've done to us, Bungie. You motherfuckers. Oh, see you later. Bye.
Hey, guys.